Hello and welcome. Today I'm angry, and I've been angry for a little while about the direction Australia's education has taken our precious children. It's only been about 6 years since the Labor government brought their education revolution in, which means we've gone to benchmark testing, which means we've gone to My School sites to compare those things, which means we're now about to bring in a national curriculum. I'm really worried because I see that we're stealing our children's childhood. Parents are telling me we've got 4-year-olds with photocopied sheets to do at home every night. We've got 6-year-olds doing an hour of homework, and we've got play that's been bastardised and demonised by our system because obviously it's not going to improve literacy and numeracy. Now, I get really angry about these things because I am a former educator and I do know what brings out the best in children, and being bored as bat poo never brings out the best in children. So what we've now got is we've taken away the interactive play that allowed children, young children, particularly 4, 5 and 6-year-olds, to explore their world with an open and curious mind. So we've removed that, and there are so many places that our children sit in rows much earlier than they ever did. So what we've done is push down the curriculum a year at least, if not more than that, thinking it's going to make our children smarter, which is going to make them perform well on what I call as NAPALM, not NAPLAN, which is a statistically invalid test which doesn't even test what it's supposed to show. So what we've got is an enormous shift in what's happening in education. And we're all running around going, where is the evidence that shows that starting earlier makes our kids smarter? Well, to be honest, there's none. In actual fact, the only evidence out there shows that it's the reverse. It actually dumbs our children down. All we're doing is teaching them how to pass a test. So I'm really angry because how on earth could we go following the UK system or the US system of this national benchmark testing without exploring what happens in the early years? So the national curriculum has got a lot of information about the what we need to be doing, but not much about the how. So we've been running around different schools, pushing different messages down to early years educators who are trained to bring out the best in young children, have been told that what they've been doing for the last 20 years when our children were actually performing better was wrong. Can you see why I'm angry? So I've decided that I was going to do something about it. I'm not much of a whinger, but I've heard a lot of stories that have nearly broken my heart, especially for our boys and our Indigenous children who are struggling even more with these classrooms full of boring learning, without movement, without fun, without play. So I'm taking a submission to Canberra this week, and I'm presenting it to the National Minister for Education, Christopher Pyne. I want a conversation that says, how did we get so lost? And I want to make sure that we stop stealing our children's childhood in the pursuit of an education that passes tests that doesn't make our kids happy. I'm sick of hearing about children who've got anxiety disorders, who are returning to bedwetting, who are pulling their hair out, and who are really, really struggling. And some are even struggling with depression much earlier. So this direction is wrong, it's bad for our children, and Australian children deserve a lot better. I hope you get behind us as we jump up and say, no more. Let our kids have a childhood. We can get them smart later. Thanks for listening. That's all for now.